Critical EDH. Live your life.
What is that from?
It is the slogan for American Eagle.
Oh, nice.
Big Sydney Sweeney fans, dude.
Yeah, same. Yeah, that's yeah. What an ad.
That's yeah.
Well, welcome to Keeping Tabs.
America's sweetheart.
Yeah, truly.
Welcome to Keeping Tabs for the week of August 6th, 2025. And we've got some really good stuff and good events coming up. Some kind of interesting cards to talk about. And,
yeah, definitely.
I guess let's just jump into it.
Yeah.
What do we have here?
Cure's Follower.
Dude, I really like this card.
I do as well. I saw Lamora put it into his Ragthrs list for testing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why isn't this card played more?
I think it's kind of a weird casting cost, but it kind of makes sense. I almost wish it were legendary, because then you turn on like Mox Amber.
Sure.
And Louis Joie's Sacrifice.
Oh, yeah. That's I mean, but you can Flare Denial this.
I was going to bring that up. Like, I think having that extra like Flare of Denial, and like, do you really care if you sack this to Flare? Not really.
It's already untapped your Cradle once.
Untap Cradle, you can untap the One Ring. This goes extra crazy with Seedborn Muse, because you just every turn you get one more untap.
Who needs more with Seedborn Muse?
It's essentially a manifold key, but for anything. So
yeah, I think it's definitely interesting. I am thinking about playing it. I definitely should have. I took a look at this card when I was playing Yoshi Thras. I just didn't make the cut. I was playing other random stuff in that spot, but I think it should get a better look.
In Maelstrom Wander, I play the 3-mana Kiora. It's like 2 and a hybrid Simic. And that's just like Planeswalker. It's 7 loyalty, and it's just down tick, untapped target permanent.
Yeah.
And like that has felt really great. Mostly because it also draws a card with, big creatures and stuff. But just having that effect, and like when you look down at your board, sometimes just assessing, going like, do I have anything that's worth untapping? It's like, oh yeah, I have kind of a Grim Monolith, I have Mana Vault, or even just like a land here and there can kind of really get you where you need to go.
What I also really like about this card, and this is something that I enjoyed with Yoshi Thras as a deck in general, is the availability of untapping someone else's thing too. And since it's not just like your target permanent, it opens up so many like weird lines of like, how many times have we heard, can someone give me a mana, right? Like, and it happens all the time. And the amount of games that I had prolonged with that availability in Yoshi Thras with Candelabra or Cloud of Fairies or something along those lines, this kind of does the same thing, right? Or it does exactly the same thing.
Well, and it doesn't inherently die to Bowmaster, so it's not like a 2-1 or a 1-1. Just having that extra toughness is nice. But yeah, I think there's a lot of decks where like this card would see play and could reasonably see play. I'm a big fan of cards that are often just good enough, and because like they don't attract a lot of attention, but
they just read uncounterable.
You're like, damn, like this card is actually kind of giving me that extra like special sauce to value out whatever I need or whatever.
Right.
So I think this card is interesting. We'll probably see it in like a lot of Thrasios decks. My speculation on this card, and the reason I wanted to talk about it, was I think it's underplayed. And there's a lot of decks that could be playing it and probably should be playing it, but aren't.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think that this like effect is something that people are looking for more and more right now, especially in the Cradle Farm stuff. So, yeah.
Moving on to... dude, our cats are...
Yeah.
moving on to the comment of the week. You want to read this?
Yeah, congrats on fatherhood, man. Logan, great overview of the week as always. I think the discussion around trying to remove nuance for newer players is super spot on, and something I wish I would have done for myself a bit more. There's been so many times that I've been staring at my hand, especially now on wrong side, like, damn, I know there has to be a line here. I just don't see it yet. This hits home.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks.
Yeah.
Fatherhood's awesome. It's really cool. But I think this was talking about like when we were talking about the more basic kind of Kinnan list.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then while you're like focusing on just like comboing off you're like losing the nuance of like, oh, well, I'll just make infinite mana and then I'll do the like Cephaloid Coliseum loop or Green Sun Zenith and Fairy Mastermind stuff. And,
right.
And like that is way too much for new players.
Oh yeah.
But like if you take a deck like Wrong Side, which is right here, and I know this is no shade to Jordan. Jordan's an awesome guy, but he's newer to the scene, and like I was like, dude, you should play Wrong Side. And then he had approached me like after the tournament, and he's like, dude, there's a lot to this deck. Like he's like, there's way more than it looks like.
Dude, speaking about Wrong Side specifically, do you want to talk about your game, how you had 2 Tithes and a grinding station and were milling everyone out with it?
I got called for slow play because I had 2, like on turn 3, I had Copy of Tithe, I had Rhystic and Verity Circle. On turn 4, I had another Copy of Tithe, another Rhystic, and a Fish.
Yep.
On top of everything else that I had before. So 2 Tithes, 2 Rhystics, Fish, and Verity Circle. And like, I was like, I'm not slow playing. Anytime someone does anything, I have about 7 triggers. Oh yeah, by the way, I have a grinding station. So every time that a treasure enters, dude, I like untaps my station.
Me and Jason were like sitting there watching, being like, yeah. Like Jason's like, I suggested grinding station, not like this. Not like man.
This. He's like, grinding station helps you fix your early breach lines. Yeah. And then he looks down. I have 2 Tithes, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna untap station, and then I'll shred one of the treasures, and then I'll like leave station untapped, and I'll have +1 treasure. And I was doing this every single time that someone would draw a card, and they're like, Jason's just like, dude, you're not supposed to do it this way. But
it was so funny.
I think that like when you add these cards, that there's so many like overlapping synergies and stuff like that, you run into these situations where as a player you're required to put A plus B plus C plus D together and figure out how to navigate that. You'll find a lot of these higher level and decks, not to say that like Wrong Side is the highest, it's definitely not, but Blue Farm I think is a good example of this. You're often required to not just put like Thassa's Oracle Decon together.
Correct.
You need to find a way to like sort of navigate the waters until you get there. And the synergies are so high that you kind of have to know what the overlap is between each piece.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like the synergies, I mean, we're seeing it right now with like the Ragthrs decks, right? Where like no individual piece wins you the game except for maybe a Boros Breeze Caller. But even then it's like, oh, you need 6 creatures and Cradle and Talon Gates and.
Well, Ragthrs used to be Dockside and then like Temur Sabertooth Dockside.
Yeah.
Or Cloudstone Curio Dockside.
Right.
And like anything like that. And now it's not make infinite mana. No. It's not Kin and Basalt. It's Cradle make a lot of
70 mana.
Yeah. But after you do a bunch of game actions, you're like, oh cool, I have 70 mana.
Yeah.
Like it's not quite that defined. But I think there is some value in kind of returning to like, okay, let's put a little bit of combos and a little bit of tutors and kind of simplify things a little bit. The decks are still powerful, obviously, but especially for new players, you kind of have to like show them what that path looks like.
Yeah, for sure. I think like the easiest way to do it for me, like when I was still learning the format, when I really got truly into it, was Master of Keys, because it was just like, get Abdel in yard, reanimate Abdel. Like,
I have one goal.
Yeah.
And if like, Abdel doesn't happen, then it's like, oh, I have Thassa.
Yeah, I have a backup, right? But like, it is nice to have just like a deck that has one goal, right? But then we're seeing these like lands decks that are just like super heady, and you're just like, wait, what are you doing?
It's literally Kodama Thras. I'm like, I don't know the line here, and I don't know that if I gave this to like, you could put the whole, you could screenshot the board state and like your opponents and whatever they have, and then present it to someone and be like, hey, figure this out. You'd have like 10 different answers on like, dude, how to put it together.
I've been talking to Josh about his like lands minstrel list, because I'm intrigued by that as an archetype, right?
Which Josh?
Sisei Josh.
Leaphart.
Yeah, Leaphart. And he's running strip mine to strip mine himself. Like it's stuff like that where I'm just like, oh, no new player is ever seeing this card. Like, what is this? Yeah. So it is nice that like there is availability for the format to have something that's like nice, simple, learn the format, start learning the stack, start learning priority.
One of my favorite
delve off.
One of my favorite sayings that I like to say is, goldfish will grow to the size of their tank. And speaking of Jordan, he has the signs of being an excellent player, but he's newer. So whenever I talk to him, like he's like doing the right things about like learning the format. He's getting coaching from people like Jason. He's really like internalizing a lot of that feedback and just advice in general. And he's performing very, very well at our local tournaments. Like he top forward his first one and he top forward his second one. And I'm like, that's pretty sick. That's really good.
Our top 4 game that we had was me, him, Jason, and Jay. That was the game that I imp sealed for a Ristic study, and Jason brain freezed me, and he's like, there's no way this is top 4 gameplay. Like, sorry, man, he's just trolling me.
Well, and I guess the point I was going to say about Jordan specifically is that when I was encouraging him to play wrong side, it wasn't because I was like, oh, this deck is just better than what you're playing at the time, which is Kefka. It was more the context of, I can see his potential as a player. And I'm going like, dude, you need to like stretch your legs a little bit. Like you're actually like being actively hamstrung by the deck you're playing,
right?
Because you're like trying to navigate waters that are already kind of like very muddy. Whereas you need like open breathing space. You need a deck that's better than you are. Because I didn't think Kefka was that deck for him.
And by no means is Kefka a bad deck. I think that we're seeing by the numbers that Kefka is real, right?
Sure.
That the Grixis turbo, hey, I have mulled too low, to now Kefka is my game plan, is very okay, right? Like, it's very good, actually.
It's totally fine, but it doesn't teach you about the Grixis shell, right? Really. It teaches you about Kefka.
Correct.
And there's Grixis stuff in it because it is Grixis, right? But it's not teaching you like the fundamentals of
like how to do your breach combo. How do you get there when you're like really struggling right now?
When you're absolutely tight on Nana and you're doing like a turn 2 breach line, like what do you need to pull that off? You know, that sort of thing.
Man, I was playing my minstrel list like a few weeks back. And
to be clear for everyone, you're not on like the Lumra.
No.
You're on Turbo.
Mine is 5-color good stuff minstrel, right?
5-color turbo minstrel.
It can turbo. Yeah. Sometimes it puts a necropotence into play on turn 2.
Yeah.
But sometimes it puts a Ristic study into play too. Sure. Like, it really does feel like blue farm plus green with worse draw engines, right? Because like I don't have a backup plan.
You don't have
I have a very, very, very bad backup plan. But I was in like a breach line, and I was having to use Manamorphose to keep drawing cards to hopefully find my brain freeze.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like I drew like 6 cards off Manamorphose breaching.
I feel like that's a deck that you could probably run weird cards like Stitcher Supplier, or like maybe like Burning Inquiry or something like those weird like one mana pieces that like kind of accelerate your breach.
Yeah.
And like Grinding Station and stuff like that. But
it's a work in progress.
Yeah. So anyway, that's our comment of the week. Let us know what you think about all that. We have a couple kind of admin things to talk about. We wanted to talk about the Cookout. Landgo is again sponsoring us in part. I'm not sure if we're going to end up going to the Cookout yet or not. It's kind of like timing wise kind of interesting for all of us. We have a lot of stuff going on.
I might be going to this and just coming back for 5 days and going straight to the fishbowl.
It might be that. Also, you know, I have a kid now, so who knows what's going on. But anyway, the Cookout is set to be the largest cEDH event that I know of that has ever happened. It's happening in Stone Mountain, Georgia, October 4th of this year, and it starts at 9 a.m. Up to 424 players with 20K in prizing.
Dude, that's so crazy, man. It's like, I thought Fishbowl 5 was large.
Yeah,
it was like 200 something, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is hard to navigate the
Fishbowl
tables.
was 310.
Okay,
it was over 300.
And I was like, how am I navigating to my seat?
Yeah.
And they're like, hard. How about we have another 100 players?
Yeah, we had to walk like 100 feet to the end of the row, and then like the rows were all packed full of people, and like they're like, yeah, you have 3 minutes to get to your seat, and you're like, brother, it's gonna take you 10 minutes to walk across this
it
damn
felt
hall.
Like have you ever been to like a big convention like Comic-Con or anything like that? Dude, it felt like Comic-Con San Diego, where you're just like, I need to get over there.
You're sardines in a can,
Dude.
like kind of being pushed around.
You're like, it's going to take me an hour to get to the other side of the convention.
So anyway, they are offering a reduced entry fee until the end of this month, and then it goes up to $100. So if you are interested in going, I highly recommend you buy your entry fee now.
Yeah, definitely. Should be a blast.
And then, of course, it's full proxy and comp REL. So all the good things we like about cEDH events. And if it's anything like the LandGo Invitational and LandGo Open that was in Tennessee earlier this year, this thing's going to be fucking awesome. Because that event was sick, and I didn't even get to play in it.
Yeah, I mean, when you and Eric got back, like, you guys had nothing but good things to say.
Nope. It was all awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, Wayne and the team there and the judges, like, they know how to run good events. And we've been to all kinds of events this year. We've been to SCG Con, and we've been to Fishbowl, and while all of them have their, like, pluses and minuses and stuff, I've never seen so many people in one kind of space and then have it be run so smoothly. They had, like, side events going at the same time. They had vendors kind of mixing in with it was just all good.
That's awesome. Yeah, sounds like...
Looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Steel City Invitational Open coming up.
Correct.
That's in 10 days as of this
Holy
recording,
shit.
9 days as of when this comes out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get
How
to go.
are you feeling? I do. Congrats. Dude,
I'm
I
excited.
don't know if, like, this thing that needs to be talked about, but, like,
I'll talk about it.
on Friday when Emily's water broke, you're like, wait, the Invitational's back on the table now. And I was like, dude, you're having a kid right now.
Yeah, I'm like up in the room going, can I go to this?
Yeah, oh, dude, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, so the coolest thing or craziest thing about this whole situation was we got the invites early in the week, and I was like, okay, well, I need to respond by Thursday to let Top Deck know if I'm going to attend or not. And, like, that's a totally reasonable thing. And got to Thursday, saw no change regarding, like, you know, whether I was going to have a kid or not anytime before this happened. Because her due date was not till end of August.
Yes.
And then even then, she was supposed to be about 2 weeks early, which puts us right at this time frame of this event. So it gets to Thursday. I said, unfortunately, like, I have to decline because, you know, I'm still expecting a son at some point. And it gets to Friday. Nothing happens. I'm at a tournament, and finishing up that tournament, she calls me and she's like, hey, my water broke. I need to go to the hospital. I'm like, okay. And then we have the kid Saturday morning.
Yep.
And I'm like texting Top Deck. I'm going, hey, I think I can go to this now. And they're like, okay, like, you know, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Which is totally appreciated, by the way. Like, thank you so much for the consideration. I know that there's been a few people that are like, oh, well, like, I don't understand how. They're like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I earned my spot. I worked hard all year for this.
Yeah.
Either way, we're very excited to go. Jason and I will be in the Invitational. And Austin, you're playing,
I'm playing
in the
Open. Yep.
And then hopefully we can hit some, like, side events and stuff while we're there. And get some
the
artist
lobby con,
signatures.
dude. The lobby con is going to be so much fun.
I'm so excited for LobbyCon. Like, not...
Same.
Tim and I were talking about Marnius earlier this week. So if you guys like Marnius, go watch our Marnius deck tech. But one deck he was trying to convince me to bring was Abaddon. And I was like, I'll play it in LobbyCon at the Open. Like, that...
On, like, all of our everything that we've been posting, like, on Twitter, or he's just posting pictures of Abaddon, which is so funny.
And then people are, like, trying to encourage me to play Glarb at the Invitation. I was like, I don't know.
Well, you're
like,
the Glarb guy, dude. That's why. No,
gosh. I think Glarb's still good. Like, I mean, I've gotten cooked by my own Glarb.
Oh yeah, dude.
Connor
crushed us that 1 week.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I'm still gonna play wrong side, but
yeah, I'm probably gonna be playing TNT. My TNT
nice.
that I've been brewing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think that deck has something special to it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Not TNT in general.
No.
I think your TNT has something special going on.
Yeah, I'm playing some Cope stuffs in there still, just because the Yoshi Thras holdouts.
We'll work on it before.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. I can't say enough about Charismatic Conquer in that deck.
Yeah,
it is an overperformer every single time I've put it into play.
I love that card.
Yeah, it's insane. And Tithe players are all greedy. Like every single one of them.
Yeah,
Like,
they definitely are. So this is the culmination of this whole season, which the season kind of started in September of last year. And then if you're not familiar with the whole Top Deck season thing, basically you can go to Top Deck sanctioned events, or I think sanctioned is probably the right word, but like basically if you're running a tournament, you want to use the Top Deck software, you can buy into their system and into the series, and then your players can get points that go towards the series. So we've been competing all year in different Top Deck events, trying to get points and get our rank up for the season. And it's culminating in this event. And then after this, then we'll start another season, hopefully. It seems seems very likely.
Yeah, it does seem likely.
Please, fingers crossed, all those things. But it's been like such a positive and good experience for us. It's definitely like what critical EDH is built on, that competitive aspect and that sort of long game of cEDH.
Yeah, I mean, this is my like first year in the format, right? And I was able to crack 200, which
that's crazy.
Feels good. I felt like I was like,
that's dude, really good.
Here's what's crazy about that is like until you posted that on Twitter, I knew I was doing fine, right?
Yeah.
But I was kind of down on myself about not doing super well in the last like few tournaments. And then I was like, wait, no, I just cracked my top 200 in the first year of doing this.
Yeah.
I think next year I'm for sure. If again,
you'll get there.
I'm going for the MV. Like that's happening.
A little less cope and you'll be
there. Stop playing bad decks, dude. Like that's really what it comes down to.
But it's just been, like I said, such a positive experience and something that we look forward to, giving us as like something as players to build our like career or like reputation and stuff on. Like having ELO and stuff is nice, but that doesn't really reset. That's kind of like an eternal thing.
Well, and also like this thing's basically like it's a giant event now. Like it's the Super Bowl of our format of being like, hey, this is the event that everyone was striving for. Also, there's an open, so like it's gonna be a party essentially.
Dude, everyone who's like anyone in cEDH is gonna be there.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be like, if you can only go to one event a year from now on, it has to be this, right?
Yeah.
Because you'll see everyone, and that LobbyCon is just gonna be insane. Even if you didn't play in the open or the Invi, like it's still gonna be a blast. Just go.
I wonder if I'm gonna get less sleep as a father or less sleep at at Steel City. Like
that's a good question.
Anyway, we can't wait. We're super excited. Look for coverage from us for this event, and I guess we'll just let you know how it goes.
Yeah.
We just had 1,000 members in our Discord, which is nuts.
It is nuts.
I didn't really know this was coming up, and I just saw like the little ticker coming up, and I was like, I should probably
do something.
Yeah. So if you want to join our giveaway, this will run till August 10th. So about 3 or 4 days from now, you can win a critical EDH stitched playmat with artwork by Gold Sabertooth. And you can also win a random mystery Japanese card of my choosing.
I saw this order. There's a lot.
There's a lot of good stuff. But basically, you just have to go to the Discord. You click on the little button, and then you're entered. Yeah. And then the bot will automatically pick. So it's totally random, but you should do it.
Also, shout out to our Discord. It is active at all times. Not even just League things.
Yeah.
Like just all the time. People are just talking in like half the channels.
Yeah. Speaking of the League, I posted this earlier yesterday or today, and I said like, do you like watching cEDH gameplay? Well, you can just like join our League chat and just literally watch live games happen. And we had about 20 people in this room just like watching Max P play a game.
Yeah. Which I think 2 of those players were going to the Envy.
Yeah.
Like
we have tons of high level players playing in our league.
Just be ready for the turbo pilled of our league because they like to just try to jam and win, man.
Max posted a gif of like Sheldon like breathing into a paper bag, and he's like like no context at all. And I just messaged him. I was like, "Hey, are you okay, dude?" And he's like, "I would like to see a turn 3." So
it's been real trying to play TNT in our league right now. I'm like, I can't be the cop for 3 people. Like, it's not possible.
Online turns a little bit turbo for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone really wants to sit and grind and play the mid-range game online, but also like
I do.
I mean, I do too. Yeah. Like, you know, but it's just a little different, and I think that while a lot of these are going to be good practice for tournaments and stuff like that, because we just have good players and people that are willing to give feedback and talk to you about like, oh well, hey, here's what I would have done differently, or you know, did you know that I had this in hand, or these kind of conversations that like don't really take place a lot of times, especially in tournaments.
The
like,
post-game conversations are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, they are so good. They're so articulate of like, this was my thinking. Like, everyone is very open to talking about their decision making in the games.
For sure. But this is the kind of environment we are trying to like foster, and the type of league we want to have. So this month, here's some stats for you. We have 175 players, and it's 5 days into the league. Last month we finished with 181.
Can we talk about how at midnight on the 1st there was 3 pods firing?
3 pods firing with like 55 people signed up within like an hour. Yeah. It was okay. So 175 people so far. That's 6 fewer than what we had last month at the end of the month. We've had 200 games in 5 days, which is averaging 40 a day.
Zane is now in our Discord because he's like, I need to be able to see what is happening.
We're asking him for features at a rate in which he cannot update Top Deck.
Which is saying a lot, because that guy updates at an insane rate.
For sure, but also we're like, he's like, oh, League was kind of like an afterthought, and like people were using it. But he's like, I kind of need to pay attention now that you guys have 175 people. So yeah, he's there to kind of like provide just like, you know, feedback and get, or I guess get feedback and stuff like that.
In the Top Deck Discord, someone was asking for Top Deck points for our league if they win it, which I was like, that's actually gas, but that's crazy to think about.
I don't know if it's gonna happen.
I don't either. But what a crazy idea.
It's not that crazy of an idea, because I think that if we control and regulate the rules and the structure well enough, it could lend itself to be like a quote real thing.
Oh, 100%.
Because like I've seen tournaments that are run worse than our league.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, I would also say winning our league is harder than winning some locals, right?
Yeah. But like, even if, let's say we have 200 players or whatever, it doesn't need to be like a gold level of points.
No.
It could be like,
it could be a silver or a bronze or something along those lines, right? Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty interesting to think about.
Who knows what the future will hold? But I think there's a lot of things that are possible. There's a lot of features that we're like asking for and wanting to develop. There's new things that we're trying. This month we're increasing the minimum to 10 games because we saw a lot of players, they would like win 4 out of their 5 required games and then just kind of sit and park. We don't really want to encourage that. We kind of want players to play throughout the duration of the league.
Right.
But also, like, even if you do well, like, keep playing. It's just good for everyone.
Yeah, of course.
And then also we're working on like point decay. So if you're like inactive for a while,
which it sounds like it's coming somewhat soon.
It's coming soon, but it's not active right now.
Right.
So nothing anyone needs to worry about. Oh, and then speaking of, we're partnering with Kai, Sabotarix, and Max P. So Kai is a super awesome graffiti artist. You can see some of his art down here. I know Eric's got some altars from him as well.
That Atali is so cool.
Yeah, these are actually the ones that he did for Play to Win.
Yeah, okay.
And then Max P of the Winning In podcast, and he's been jamming games like we were just talking about it earlier. But it's so cool to like see these players.
Dude, he's been in the early rotation.
Yeah.
I've been seeing him on there at like 7 a.m. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, it's totally fun, and if you want to come join, basically all you have to do is just subscribe on our Discord or subscribe to Patreon, or in this case, if you want to purchase something from Kai, he has, that's all the details are in our Discord, but if you purchase something from him, you get free entry, or if you join Max P's Patreon, then you get free entry for the month.
Right.
All right, let's move on to some content. I thought this video was really cool because I've never really heard Consecrated Sphinx be talked about in cEDH outside of like Denver. Because this is a card that we are big fans of here in Denver.
Right. It is the Denver secret tech, quote unquote, right?
Yep.
It is really interesting. I think that as I'm hearing about it a little bit more and seeing it in some lists that are not in Denver, and it feels like Denver has gotten off of this card.
Yeah, I'm not playing it right now on wrong side.
Yeah.
But it's still in Glarb, I think. Yeah, I think it is still in Glarb.
I mean, it's a gas card. Like, if it lands and you have it for a turn rotation, you can't lose the game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to.
Yeah.
But Eisenherz did a really good job of talking about Consecrated Sphinx, sort of the challenges of playing the card, the challenges of your opponent copying the card, and what it means to have two Sphinxes on the board at the same time, how those triggers layer and how they stack, and then how they resolve.
Go read Trade Secrets. It's a banned card. That's all you need to know.
He also mentioned good ways to present a shortcut for the triggers, which I think is really, really helpful because there's a lot of confusion about how this works, whether it's like you draw 2 or you draw 1, or he goes over all this, and it's a very short video. It's like 5 minutes and or 6 minutes.
I do think that like the reason why we're not playing it as much in Denver right now is just because we have a lot of Ragthrs players, and they have
a lot of
so many clones in their deck, and they're like, yes, please.
That's part of it, and also like this card, when Ristic was even more prevalent than it is now, a couple months ago, it was a good antithesis to Ristic.
Yeah,
where
for
you
sure.
could play this and be like, okay, now draw cards with your Ristic. Now let's see what happens.
please do.
Yeah, exactly. But now I think players are looking for more proactive solutions to win the game, or to just things to play in general.
Yeah, for sure.
But I could see it in certain lists for sure.
Yeah,
still.
I think I mean, like in those hard control lists, like you said, like Glarb.
Yeah,
I think it definitely has a spot because it's like how
you carve your own window to play it, and then you go, okay, now what? Now you deal with it.
For sure, you're like, okay, I have now withered you guys to nothing. Here's a Con Sphinx.
Yeah.
I will eventually win this game.
Yeah, I will win the next turn cycle, but I'll just sit here for another turn. And, yeah. So I thought the video was pretty solid, and one other thing I wanted to mention about this was Eisenherz took a break from creating content and talking about Magic in general, so we just wanted to welcome him back to doing that.
I really like Eisenherz videos.
Yeah, me too.
They're always very, very well thought out.
Better than ours.
Yeah.
That's a good card. Also talked about a card that it kind of hits home for us, especially me.
It can't not. It was your recommendation.
I recommended it in January.
A long time ago. Yeah.
In January, dude. This was back when I was playing also Rogsai, but not Rongsai. This is before Rongsai. I was playing a list that I called Wasteful Artistry. I had built it around Waste Not and Artist Talent.
Our first game that we played together, you had one of these in play.
So you remember this, but I don't. So you'll have to like enlighten me about this. I don't really remember.
I don't know the specifics, but you had a Waste Not in play. We were playing at the charity event that was happening, and I was playing Master of Keys, and you had a Waste Not in play, and we're trying to resolve a wheel. And I was like, there's no way you can keep this. like, there's no way. And I had a bounce spell, and you were trying your hardest to convince me.
I was like, it's fine.
So yeah, you're like, it's fine. I'm not winning the game. And I was like, I don't think that's true, dude. And I decided to bounce the Waste Not. But I was like, yeah, that's insane.
I'm pretty sure I won off of the wheel anyway.
I think we drew. Okay. I'm pretty sure we drew the game there.
I'll have to look back at the history for that, because it's on Top Deck somewhere. I ended up coming in third in that tournament with this deck, and Waste Not was a huge reason as to why I came in third. Just having Waste Not and like passing the turn into people that are like overdrawing with Ristic Study, and then they discard a bunch of cards, mostly lands probably, because they're like, oh, well, I don't need these. I can only play one a turn or whatever. And then you're like, oh, I have 6 black mana. I look down at my hand, I'm like,
here's a Nos.
Ad Nauseam's 5 mana. That's really interesting.
They talk about it in this podcast too, that like if you can benefit off of that black mana at instant speed, then this card should see play in your deck probably more than you think it should. Right? Yeah. Especially if you're in like a Ristic meta where people are like, I have 30 cards in hand and I can't push because they also have 30 cards in hand.
After I listened to this podcast, I was inspired to do a thought exercise of just think about what decks this could see play in. Obviously, decks that are running it right now are pretty much just Kefka, because Kefka says discard cards on it.
Right.
And if you can resolve a Waste Not and then Kefka after, like, you're just amplifying its power, basically. But I went through the exercise of building Francisco Thrasios with this card, also running Dark Deal and Windfall. But my thought was, if I can reduce Thrasios' cost quite a bit, and if people start discarding lands, I'm like, oh, I can just jam the mana into Thrasios.
It is definitely what I was thinking, like, when they were talking about it. I was like, oh, maybe this was, like, a Tev Thras card that, like, maybe gets there.
Right.
Like, maybe it's fine, you know?
Yeah.
And especially when I was playing Tevish Thrasios, because that was when we were in the copy enchantment meta of, like, Ristic, and people were discarding crazy amounts of cards.
This is also a card that in Thrasios decks creates a lot of creatures. So it ups your Cradle count for kind of free. Yeah,
for sure.
And then, I mean, it does everything that deck would want.
Yeah.
It creates creatures, it gives you mana. And
I also think that the whole LED, like cracking LED thing really makes people think about it.
Yeah, if you crack LED and you have a breach line and, like, all of a sudden you have 10 cards going to
You're
the
like,
yard,
oh, hey, I can fight that breach like, now, buddy.
Waste Not triggers. The card also gives, when I was in that tournament, like, there were multiple times when someone had overdrawn with Ristic. They had discarded, like, 4 or 5 cards. And then I would have priority in their end step after they had discarded. And that's really, really strange.
That is really strange, but also kind of scary for you as well. Right? Well, people want that to happen sometimes. And if they can make you force to happen, that's
I
scary.
guess, but, like, what I would use it for would be like, I have priority, I have some mana, here's a Valley Flood Caller. And then everyone would be like, okay, and then, like, I would pass again. But, like, just the ability to play something at the last second. Because, like, with your flash enablers, you want to wait until the last possible second to play it, right?
I agree, but I think there's the opposite side of this coin.
Okay.
That someone's like, oh, hey, I'm going for this line. And someone silences.
Yeah.
And they have to go to discard. And now you've put something on the stack in their end step. And they're like, all right, 6 silence is gone now. I can go.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's already rare that you get priority in their end step, but I would think it's even more rare for an opponent to be able to take advantage of that, because
for sure
sometimes it's already just hard for you to take advantage of in general. But that is interesting because
it could happen.
Those effects do wear off at end step, and then all of a sudden you like. There's more. Time.
Hey, we're playing Magic again.
So anyway. They had a really good conversation, Kyle and Yaw did, about this card. Again, like, I had recommended it mostly for Rog side because I was doing the whole, like, very wheel focus.
Jax might want to look at this card because his wrong side build is on. It's, like, very wheel heavy.
Oh, interesting.
So
I just love this deck because there's so many different ways that you can build it.
Yeah.
And make calls to the meta based on, like, oh, well, do I want to just, like, start wheeling stuff and use Waste Not, or do I want to use just, like, copy Ristic a bunch of times, or do I want to just, like, jam Sphinx and, like, Emrakul. Yeah. But anyway, Waste Not's a cool card.
It is a
really
cool card.
It also, like, look at the stat line. Like, it's a 1 and a black for an enchantment that can do all of these things.
This card also screams to me as something that we will end up getting more and more commanders that want this card in it.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Or also just, like, random cards that have favorable interactions with it. Yeah.
Just give me a 2-mana 3-person Thoughtseize. I want it. I want it so bad.
Well, you could do that with, like, Zevlor, right?
Yeah, that's true. Then you gotta play Zevlor, though.
I played Zevlor in casual, and that deck was fun.
Yeah, it's insane.
But also, like, just triple Jessica's Will is, like, is pretty sick.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. Speaking of enchantments, MTG Basics released a video called How to Play Around Ristic Study.
They went in depth on this, like completely. They talked about the early game, the mid game, the late game, and how they would like to see the meta play against Rhystic Study. Both of them come from a very interesting perspective because they both play like Thrasios decks that are like kind of okay not casting spells if absolutely need be, right?
Right.
But it was a really in-depth video. Like I really think you guys should watch it. Like it talks about
I think they would provide a different perspective than we would on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, our perspective on Rhystic Study is like if we all have Rhystic Study, then it's fine, right? Just play.
I'm just better than you.
Yeah. I'm just gonna play. When we inevitably get to that long stack, I am feeling very confident, and I know you're in the deep waters, buddy.
Yeah.
But I also think that like the Ragthrs deck like is like on the opposite side of the spectrum of like how it plays the game than the Rhystic Study game, right?
Yes.
And so coming from Pigeon and coming from Raul, they have a very unique perspective. But I think it's a perspective that people should hear.
And to be clear, their perspective is not wrong.
No, absolutely not.
It's just different than what, like, because I play a different deck. So if I'm playing Rogsai and I have a Rhystic Study or two, my plan is very different than if I had a Rhystic Study or two in Ragthrs.
Absolutely.
Because, like, while having all of those cards is good in Ragthrs, I'm not looking to like play the stack or play control or essentially like if I have 31 instants in this Ragthrs doesn't have that many. They might have like 12 or 15.
No, they're at like 20-ish.
Yeah, but like a lot of them are cards that cost mana. Like let's say like Court of Calling. Or like
for sure.
You know what I mean? Like they use those cards in different ways. Whereas I'm like not actively trying to do anything other than just win. Where like I'm using like free counter spells and stuff like that. I'm like always looking for that next free counter spell and then evaluating, do I use this counter spell on what my opponent's doing? And if the answer is no, then like I'm still like sitting backwards in my chair, like not doing anything, right? Whereas Ragthrs is like drawing cards and like, okay, well, am I playing this on my next turn? How am I sequencing? Like that sort of thing. It's just different.
I think it is different. It is very different. I also think that the point that I really liked from them was I think the early game Rhystic Study, like if someone jams it on turn 1 or 2, I think we should be a little bit more resilient to just saying draw cards, being like, like we should probably try to pay for these things, right? I mean, obviously, I'm coming from a Thrasios standpoint now, right? But
I guess, I mean,
I think that like their whole point with it is like wait until everyone has their engines until people stop being like, okay, you can draw every card that we play, you know, which I think is kind of correct, depending on obviously the decks you're playing against, the decks you're playing, and a ton of other things, right?
It's one of those things that as a player you have to just like constantly evaluate, constantly have to reassess and go, what is the correct course of action for me here in this situation, given all the factors? And who knows whether there's even a correct answer. Sometimes you're just up against the wall and like you're like, I can't do anything. I have to just play the cards.
Well, I think this is like a really interesting conversation that we had when we were at Heisenberg in the event that we played against each other in the side event.
Oh, okay. And do you want to tell this story?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure we've told it before, but I'd love to hear your telling of it.
I mean, Logan put a turn 1 Rhystic Study in seat 1, literally just put it into play. And I was playing Yoshi Thras at the time.
This deck.
And I had a conversation with the table. I was seat 2.
Yeah.
And then we had a Sisay player in seat 3 and a Kenrith player in seat 4. And I was like, hey, I am so down to slow play this game. Like, Yoshi Thras kind of likes a slower game anyways.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm very okay with that.
So the three of you basically were like, yeah, fine, we'll just slow play.
Yeah, we'll slow play. Yeah, we can slow play this.
But I had turn 1 study.
You had a turn 1 study.
What happened on turn 2?
You had a turn... you tutored for a turn 3 study. Yeah. And so, once the turn 3 study came down, I was like, looking at Sisay that had developed a little bit. I'm looking at Kenrith that developed a little bit. And I need to develop a little bit because once they're developed, they're using activated abilities to develop and not feeding this Rhystic study.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I'm just getting put further into a hole here.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like, I have to play into that spot, right?
Right.
Which doesn't feel good.
But then you heard complaints from the other two players going, "What the hell are you doing, bro?"
Yeah. But I was
and you're like,
you guys have a win condition on play. Like,
I have to play the game.
I have to play, right? So, and at that point in time, we were like turn 5, and it's like, no. At this point,
no. Hold on. Didn't I commandeer a study? I had a turn 3 study, and then turn 3.5. I had another study. I turned 4. Just I had a clever impersonator to study.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, I had 3 by turn 4.
But on when you only had 2,
yes,
is when I played into it, and they're like, hey, like you can't do that. Like, both of the other players were like, hey, like, you're actively throwing the game. And I was like, I don't think you guys understand how this deck works. We're gonna see a third one happening soon.
And I was like, no.
And then inevitably a third one shows up.
Literally the
right?
next turn cycle, I was like, oh, here's the third one.
And I looked at them and I was like, huh?
but then what I was so surprised about was the player to my right in seat 4 was still arguing, guys, just slow play this.
When he had like Thorkel in his yard with Kenrith.
Yeah, but I'm just like, well, not only that, but I'm like, if they just slow play it, you also lose.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like, I already have buku cards in my hand.
Yeah,
and not only that, but, like, I don't care if you do land pass. Like, that doesn't...
Right.
I'm gonna hit a tutor. I'm gonna draw, like, what I need and then win.
My only, like, situation out of that is when you had 2 is if I could develop enough mana to be like, I don't care about Rhystic studies anymore. Yeah. Right? And, like,
but it just happened so fast.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're just, especially in seat 1 Rhystic, like, I can't even play a dork and let him draw a card. No. Like, nothing,
Yeah.
But yeah, I like, obviously, like, you just constantly have to reevaluate this card, and if there's multiple of them, and also if there's 2 different players that have them, wonderful. Let them fight each other.
I want to call out Basics a little bit on this. They were shitting on Reverend Silence.
Yeah,
and saying, they're like, don't play this card. Don't play this. Okay, first of all, when I played Reverend Silence, and I just somewhat recently took it out of Glarb, but it was in Glarb, so Reverend Silence was free off the top, because it is a free spell, but it's 4, so I could play it off the top of the library. We were in the throes of a very Rhystic and Tithe meta, and just the prospect of being able to put a spell in the stack which unilaterally wipes all of those off the board, and then you go, I don't know, I still have Glarb, and, like, he's not a great value engine, but he is
better than what you guys have.
He is better than what you guys have,
which
is nothing. And, like, that has worked so well for so long. I mean, it got me through Snowy Summit. I ended up winning that tournament, in part because of Reverend Silence, and also
Bane.
And Bane of Progress.
Yep.
Whereas, like, these cards are actively looking to destroy but not punish Rhystic Study.
Right.
And I think that, like, you can carve your own windows, your own game plan if you navigate those waters properly. Is it a viable strategy right now? I don't think so, which is why I'm not really playing Glarb at the moment, at least not playing it in that style.
So I have a question for you. Do you think that we're going to see an uptick of Druid of Purification at the Envy?
No.
I think we might. I think we're going to see some of the green decks.
I don't think we're going to see many green decks at the Envy.
You think it's all farm?
I think it's going to be a lot of farm.
Yeah, farm Ragthrs.
And
I could see Ragthrs tech it
Mardu.
in. I could see Ragthrs tech it in.
Okay. But, like, Druid of Purification's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But, like,
it's your favorite types of cards.
I just don't like the destroy, like, 1 enchantment thing is, like, not, I don't know. It's not good enough.
Well, could be 3.
It could be, but I think that better players will probably not just go like, everyone won't be like, oh, he's playing this card, let's point at the next player and destroy their thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's how Ragthrs gets the most out of it. If you be like, okay, well, destroy mine, and, like, I'm not destroying anything on your board.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the proper way to handle that card.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Druid of Purification basically says,
everyone vote.
everyone can vote and destroy like a artifact or enchantment.
Artifact or enchantment, yeah.
But not from whoever cast it. And it's like, sure, but they can all choose the same thing. Like your opponents can all choose
that is true.
the one
That's
thing,
true.
and go, okay, you just wasted 3 mana on destroy one thing, and like that's not like screw your value, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I think we could see people try to tech it in though.
I just think
like,
that
truly.
I think that enterprising players will probably play it in that way, because if it's just destroying value engines and Ragthrs are like, oh, I already have my value engine, which is like Cradle and a bunch of dudes and Thrasios. You know what I mean? Like we need something to stand up to that.
Yeah, for sure.
So
that makes sense.
I don't know. I'm like not super high on Druid of Purification. I'd rather see just run Bane of Progress. Like it's not.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, I was calling out basics on the Reverend Silence thing just only because if you play these cards in like specific context, I think that there's some value to them. But also like as a player, I'm also not playing that card right now because of reasons. So like as players, we need to just kind of keep our eye out for like new things and how the meta's shifting and changing and stuff like that. And like
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there were times where we saw like everyone had study, everyone had like a tithe, or 2 players had a tithe, and then someone's trying to copy a tithe, and we were just fighting over draw engines and this and that and back and forth. And while that happens sometimes, still, it's not happening like it did in March.
Yeah, no, right? No. I mean, it still happens every once in a while.
Yeah,
but not
usually
not
with Jason and me at the same table.
That checks out.
Anyway, we highly recommend going and checking out this video. I'm sure you can hear us talk about Rhystic Study on any of our videos because we absolutely love the card. We love playing around it. We love playing with it. So if you want to hear a fresh perspective on that.
Also, don't ban the card.
Yeah. No,
please don't ban this card.
Speaking of fresh perspectives, Lamora's cards, or Matt talked about the God of Commander tournament that happened somewhat recently in Japan. He picked out one of them, and we saw lots of like really, really interesting cards, and it got me thinking about our opening card, Kiora's Follower, a little bit, even though they weren't in this list. But like, dude, the Ragthrs list that's got like Maelstrom Wanderer and like Atali and the 99.
Oh yeah,
it's just a big mana deck.
It is your Maelstrom Wanderer deck.
It's got Kiki Jiki, I think.
It's got Kiki, Cruel Celebrant.
Yeah.
It just is
Combat
crazy.
Celebrant.
Or Combat Celebrant.
Yeah.
And it's got the it's got like a Galta in there.
Because you just put all your creatures on the field.
It's got Apex Devastator in there. He's just like, this is wild.
Yeah, a couple of cards we want to talk about were Hidden Strings and Daze. So why did you pick these out?
So this Hidden Strings was actually not in the Ragthrs deck.
But yeah,
it was.
We were just talking about the video in general.
Yeah. By the way, go watch that video because he does a really good breakdown of the God of Commander. Also, the God of Commander like tournament series. If you ever want some like weird, crazy ideas out there, go pick them apart because they're insane out there, and they're awesome.
It's truly inspiring to see people that are that creative and just like frankly ballsy to play these combos and these archetypes that are just like we don't see them here.
No.
Tim and I were talking about like my standout example of how I got introduced to the God of Commander in like the Japanese scene was the Rogsai list that played 2 creatures, Thassa's Oracle and Leveler.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's sick. Like, you just level your entire library and then you play you do both. It's what, Divergent Transformation?
Yeah, and it just both. Like rips out both for sure. But so Hidden Strings was in a Malcolm Thrasios deck.
Yeah.
And like that makes sense. Malcolm's always going to be able to hit someone.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, and you can always like in that Malcolm Thrasios deck, like you can always divert attention away from Malcolm because you're not on Glinthorn combos. Yeah. Like Malcolm is literally there just to make a treasure every once in a while.
He ran no pirates?
He ran Siren Storm Tamer. Oh, and that was the only other pirate in that deck, I'm pretty sure. But like Hidden Strings just as a 2 mana hey, like my Malcolm's gonna get in, I might as well be able to untap my Cradle, my Mana Vault, my mana, like
Where is
my
this
Soul
card
Ring.
normally seen? What's the blue guy? The mono blue guy?
I do not know. I thought this was seen in like Edric.
Oh, okay.
Because it just like is random untapper. Like Cypher just like stays on your creature. So
What's
you
the
can, like,
shapeshifter blue guy that copies a lot of stuff?
Orvar?
Yeah,
Is this an Orvar?
I don't know.
I can't imagine. It does target, but like the Cypher is useless for you.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
I've never really seen a cEDH Orvar deck, so.
Oh.
I know Eric loves his, but
Eric played
the
it.
old one.
Our friend John played it. We had a few Orvar players around here, especially pre-Dockside ban. But I just remember this card, maybe this card, definitely like High Tide and like
I love High Tide.
Yeah,
man, I wish High Tide was a card.
Hidden Strings is like it's such an interesting card. It says you may tap or untap target permanent and then do that again.
Yep.
With a different permanent, but there's no like you can't like tap Cradle in between these, right?
Well, it says another, so you can't target the same thing twice.
Another,
but you could target
but you
Cradle
I guess
Manamo.
Sure, but you can't. I guess what I'm saying is whether you target the same thing or not. The more importantly, there's no like window for you to do anything in between.
Correct.
Right? Because the whole spell has to resolve. So basically, you just choose two things and you either tap or untap each one. The Cypher's interesting, especially with like Malcolm. If you put it on Malcolm, then he has flying and it's kind of guaranteed. But
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm kind of looking at this in my TNT deck. Like, I have enough Tymna attackers, but then like also putting this on like a Cloud of Fairies just makes people want to kill the Cloud of Fairies, which is absolutely not what I want to happen.
What I would say is, while you have enough Tymna attackers, be careful about that because this puts it on a specific attacker which they can block.
Yeah, but there's like enough like weird little like flyers. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe
like just putting this on a Mastermind or something like that to like just
Mastermind
attack.
dies to a slight.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like most people like will leave those things alone until I put a Hidden Strings on it, and then it's like
what I'd say
not,
with your TNT list is you're almost always guaranteed to get through because you have so many random like creatures and stuff.
dorks and stuff.
But
yeah, for sure, not dorks.
With this card,
tokens.
is you're required to get through with something specific, where that might be a little bit harder.
I agree.
Yeah,
but I think like on a Malcolm, like it seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah. Daze is a pretty cool free counterspell.
Yeah, I saw this in, I think it was like in a TNK list that they were running, and I'm really thinking about this card right now.
Let's be clear. Daze is not a new card.
No,
Daze is not a new card to cEDH.
Correct.
Daze has been played in turbo lists, especially pre-Dockside ban. Like Rogside played it a ton. TNK played it a bit. Those decks where like they just needed any amount of free interaction they could. And then also like back then, because the format was faster, mana was tighter, the paying the one was like not something that happened as often.
Correct.
And now that we have like a little bit more space, I think that Daze is worse because, I mean, if you play Daze against a Tithe deck, like
it does nothing,
or like a
for
Cradle
sure.
deck, or like they have mana, and they're like, okay, I'll pay one. Like,
so I like agree with you 100% there, but also like how many times do people just like tap out for Tithe and be like, oh, I'm going to have the mana later, you know? And you're like, oh, I feel like this can carve out like a niche because it also is a universal counterspell that is free that people are probably not expecting, right?
Maybe.
Like,
here's the thing. When people play Grand Abolisher, they're not tapping out.
Correct.
So what you're doing is you're making their line 1 mana tighter.
Which sometimes
sometimes, sure. But whereas your example of Tithe, it's okay to tap out for Tithe because if it gets countered, maybe you have a counter spell. If it doesn't, then you're like, well, I'm just gonna make another treasure on my next like on my opponent's upkeep.
Right.
Or sorry, draw step. And then like I'm already back into the game. I have mana open or whatever. So like I think that's applicable, but also like there's so many non-creature counterspells that can take care of Tithe or that people already respond to that are free.
For sure.
Or sometimes I let Tithe resolve because I just know I'm going to copy it on my turn.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff like
I've
that.
realized with like my play style, if I see a Tithe resolved, I'm like, I'm fighting an uphill battle at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and I'm not saying that Daze is a good way to answer that by any means.
It is a way to.
But I'm like, oh, I need more ways to answer that card, sure. Yeah. Right? And I just think that Daze is a card that is probably underplayed right now.
I find it hard. Like, you're right, it is a universal counterspell, but the creatures that I'm thinking of, people are generally not tapping out for.
Yeah, but I mean also...
Unless it's like Thassa's Oracle, maybe, then you're like taking them off of the Thassa's Oracle Decon mana or Thassa's Oracle Tainted Pact mana.
Yeah, but you can always just counterspell the Tainted Pact or the Decon, right? Like, that's always the plan.
Potentially, but sometimes having the counterspell for the Thoracle is like...
For sure. Oh, for the reverse Oracle line, which Jason's cooks us with all the time. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think that even in like the late game, when you get into those like crazy counterspell wars, people's resources start getting really tight. Mm-hmm. And if there's no tithe on board, like this card can cripple someone.
It definitely can. What I would advise you and our viewers to do is when you're looking at a card like this and you're in the middle of a stack battle,
look around.
Think about like put a copy of this Daze off to the side, like your sideboard or just like off the battlefield. Like obviously not in your hand or anything like that. Put it in a different sleeve. Who cares? But like look at the card and go, would a Daze help me here?
Right.
Or like would a Daze work?
Right. Yeah. 100%.
Because this is one of those things that we can opine about and we can talk about back and forth all you want. Mm-hmm. But if you're not encountering the situations in which this is useful, then like, yeah, it's a free counterspell. But if it doesn't ever do anything for you, then like, what's the point of running?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm like, I think I just want to look at it a little bit more. Yeah. Right. I want to. Yeah. I might just do like the thought experiment of like looking at my swan song, you know, and being like, if this was Daze, is it better?
Yeah. Right.
Right. Like.
The answer is no, but
right. Yeah. The answer is no, but like, you know, sometimes it might be right. Like, what if I'm like super tight on blue, right?
Yeah, like I like doing this with cards that I kind of like have in my maybe board or I think about and go like, I just kind of take a second and look at my board and go like, would this help me here? Or look at my hand and go like, do I wish I had this in my hand? One of those cards that I will give a good example for is Gwenna. So in my Thrasios Kodama list, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense on the face of it because you're like, well, Gwenna only taps for 2 and it untaps if you cast something big. Mm-hmm. But the cool thing I can do with Gwenna is that while it's a 3-mana dork that taps for 2 on the next turn, if I am able to cast Gwenna on turn 2-ish, I can cast an early Kodama, have it untap, and then I can cast Thrasios after. Right. With that 2 mana, because it generates 2 of any color. Mm-hmm. The other cool thing that Gwenna can do is it can pay into Thrasios' ability. Yeah, with its mana, which is really, really neat. So while you can't cast like your counter spells or your mana rocks or your stuff with Gwenna, you can cast creatures and you can activate creature abilities with it. So while that card didn't really make sense a whole lot, I was thinking to myself, like having it off to the side and going like, would this actually help me here?
Would this feel good?
Like, would it feel good? And then like I played it and I was like, oh, this is actually way better than I thought. Mm-hmm. But that also means that like my opponents look at that card and they go, well, that's not very good. Like, why are you playing that? You know?
For sure.
So like that's kind of like where Brewer's advantage comes into play a little bit. Mm-hmm. Daze is an interesting one. I'll have to think about it more. I haven't really thought about the card a lot because what I've been doing is just writing it off because I'm like, dude, my opponents just have so much mana at like all times. Like if they have a tithe and like I didn't take care of the tithe, then like what good is Daze? Daze is totally useless.
For sure. Yeah. I mean like there are going to be times where you're looking at this card in your hand and you're like, this doesn't feel good. But I don't know. Like I said, I need to test it.
But like, would you rank this over like Flare of Denial?
I think it depends on the deck.
For sure.
Like right now in my TNT deck, no, because like I always have like a stupid blue creature.
Or you always
have
like, Thrasios.
Okay. Yeah, or I have Thrasios that can be getting rid of. But I think that like
plus that's like this spell will be countered unless you counter Flare of Denial. There's no conditions on it.
I mean, you're also
the conditions are on the casting cost, not on the effect.
You're talking to someone that's like extremely high on that card too. Like I think Flare of Denial is like criminally underplayed right now. Yeah. But I think that, like, could this fit in the spot of like Louis Sacrifice? Like obviously like those are two very different cards.
I haven't even gotten the chance to play
very
test
different
that card
things.
yet.
Oh, I mean that thing overperforms. Like it's crazy. I love that card. I have Louis sacrificed a Basalt on tap.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, the card is really good. Like,
that's interesting.
yeah, like I've Louis an Odawara targeting my Grand Abolisher.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, like the card is really good. It's really good.
Man, I want to play that card now.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that card. But it's like, if you're not a fan of that card, like, could Daze take that spot? Is like Daze, is it in like the Dispel or Miscast category?
No.
Right? Maybe for some people.
So Dispel, Miscast, Spell Pierce.
Yeah.
Probably are the main three in that kind of like one mana slot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is a 0 mana card.
Right.
This card should say, if it were free, counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. Or if
that would be
you
crazy.
paid,
then it's like 3 or whatever.
Yeah. Then it's like, unless they pay 3 or something.
Then it's like an actual mana
gas.
leak. Yeah, a mana leak that could be free. Yeah, of course that card's gas. Yeah,
I
don't know.
love the design suite or design space around counterspells. I think it's one of the things that Wizards of the Coast actually does incredibly well.
Mm-hmm.
Where every spell, every set, they have a new counterspell that's in blue, like mono blue, but it has a different effect. And it's like, well, it's not counterspell, it's not mana drain, it's not force of negation. Like they're all slightly different, right?
Because you're looking at like Strix or Stern Scolding.
What was the latest one that was like Manifest Dread?
I have no clue.
It's like counter target spell. It's controller Manifest Dread.
That's wild.
Yeah, I think it was like a 3 mana counter spell.
Oh, okay.
But like it wasn't good. But I'm just saying, like in context of the set, it's interesting. Occasionally we get these like powerful free ones, or we get the unique ones like Louis Sacrifice, where it's like reduced cost, but it has like a really cool set of effects to it. I just think it's like a really good design space because we have a lot of cool ones. We have a lot of. They've attached some interesting conditions to them, like
for sure.
Mind Break Trap. You have to cast one opponent has to cast 3 spells, and then Trap is free.
Yeah,
and it's not a counter spell,
and it's not a counter spell. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just a card that people should maybe give a second glance to.
Yep. I would say, last thing I was going to say about this, if you are running a turbo leaning list, it might be worth considering a little bit more, because if you're doing things on the earlier turns, it's way more likely that your opponents will not have mana.
Yeah, I've been really thinking about it. I think like when I was really looking at this, it was in my minstrel list.
Yeah.
I think I should be playing it instead of...
Got to make sure you're on all the islands.
I want that. I mean, the other thing is I can return a Mystic Sanctuary to hand.
Oh.
Give it to me, dude.
Oh my god. That's actually kind of sick.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I see it. I see the vision.
Yeah.
Speaking of cards that are underplayed, this Redditor is posting about Fire Covenant.
Yeah. I mean, I think that he was talking about Fire Covenant specifically, but it evolved into just play more board wipes, right? And he's like saying like, oh, like board wipes always feel so strong. And
average casual player saying play 7 board wipes in your bracket 2.5 deck.
Yeah, I mean, like I just don't agree with this like statement at all, right? Like I think that the only board wipe that is actually worth playing is Culling Ritual. Like
that's kind of a hot take. Okay, not every deck can run Culling Ritual.
Yeah.
Fire Covenant is the best thing about it is that it's instant speed.
Sure.
It really fucking sucks when it gets deflecting swatted. Right? But that said, like it's a very powerful effect. You can kind of just pick and choose whatever creatures you want at instant speed to go like, nope, you
can't have those anymore.
Yeah, you can't have those. Also, it doesn't like touch your own stuff again unless it gets swatted or something like that. Or commandeered or who knows what. But I think Fire Covenant has its like spot in the meta, and like if you're running into a lot of these like Thrasios X decks, and you're playing like Blue Farm or you're playing Rogsai, especially wrong side where you're not really running Nas, you're not using your life total.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, fucking play Fire Covenant. Like, it's a good card.
My thing is it doesn't attack the best deck in the format.
Which is farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, so...
Well, the best deck in the format doesn't play creatures that they care about.
Yeah, exactly. So,
they
like,
play
why...
Grand Abolisher, which you cannot deal with Fire Covenant.
100%. So why are people teching in board wipes to deal with the other bad decks? Like, not bad decks. Why are they teching in cards to deal with not the best deck in the format? That they're going to see of... Looking at the invitational numbers,
the answer
35% of the market, like the market value,
The answer is, while Farm is the best deck in the format, it's not the only deck you're going to run into. Okay, so 35% means that like you're going to run into a farm deck, like when I go to the Invitational and I play against 64 of the best players.
You were going to see a farm deck in every pod.
Okay, yeah, but what are the other two decks playing? They're probably some version of Thrasios or some version of something creature based.
So I agree with you, but if you're running cards like this, Blue Farm just like hugs you.
Sure.
Right? Like you're giving them an advantage. Which is like I just don't agree with.
It's hard to think that way. I understand your point, but I think step one to winning the game is also not losing the game.
Sure.
And sometimes you just need an answer that is like, hey guys, I'm taking care of this.
Help.
I'm wasting my Vamp Tutor because I need to take care of this problem so we don't fucking lose. And then
for sure.
But that more goes to the point of, if you're running a card like this, I think you're running one. I think you're not running like three copies or
like
four.
It's a silver bullet tech.
And like, I'd rather see a silver bullet in a Fire Covenant than I would in like a Cursed Totem.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right? Because
yeah.
If it doesn't come up, fine. But like,
sure.
I don't know. It seems a little bit more flexible than that, because you can, let's say, farm does have creatures that you can kill. I know that
PFC,
Facebreaker is a good example. Even Esper Sentinel, Archivist, maybe if they're running that. Some farm decks are running Delny.
Sure.
There are creatures that farm does care about. Do they care about them as much as like Ragthrs does? No. Right. But
yeah. I don't know. I do not think the Fire Covenant, like, we are in the meta that this card should be played, and I still don't think it should be played.
Because like specifically Rakdos Plus, like what decks are you looking at? And like Rakdos, you're looking at
Rakdos the Muscle, Ob.
Yeah, which like they don't care.
And then Tim Nadargo.
Yeah, but also like Rowan. Rowan wants this because you pay life into it.
Yeah, but that's a whole different reason, dude. Like,
yeah, but like, I don't know. It's a
for sure. Rowan,
you're right. Like those red black decks, like sometimes they need answers or whatever. But like
Dahada.
Other times, yeah, but is Dahada playing this?
No way.
Yeah, no, they're not. I
think Tim Nadargo hasn't maybe the option if they're on full blown Timna plan for the first few turns. Then you want to clear the way for your attackers.
I guess, but
even
me and you're probably not running this.
Me and Eric were like looking at a Tim Nadargo deck last week, and they played like a bunch of like just little dummies that were Timna attackers. They were like come into play make a treasure, or like when it dies make a treasure.
Like the freebooter.
Some like little like I said, little dummies, dude, that are just
their version of Matadors.
Yeah, for sure. That like maybe you want to play Fire Covenant to open the way so you can attack with those little dummies. Maybe.
But even then, it's like maybe.
Yeah.
I think that more universal wipes are more powerful right now. Like I've seen T&K lists run like Supreme Verdict.
Yeah, on like the Esper version of T&K.
Yeah, because it's like it's uncounterable. I'm sorry, you're not allowed to have a board. Just like
that's true.
That is pretty sick, but even then, like I probably wouldn't run that card right now.
Yeah, I have no interest in running this Fire Covenant.
I'll keep talking about this deck. This is Wrong Sai. My board wipes don't exist because I'm not running any.
Yeah,
I'm running Chain of Vapor, Deadly Rollick, Snapback, and then like Red Blast, Pyroblast.
Chain of Vapor.
Yeah, so, yeah. Chain of Vapor, Deadly Relic, Snapback.
Okay.
Red Blast, Pyroblast.
Yeah.
And that's like
That's
pretty
about
much
right.
it.
Otawara.
Wow, that's a big one. Otawara,
Yeah.
but like, you know what I mean? Like the deck functions fantastically.
Yeah.
Because it like, I don't know, have your creatures. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, you play that deck like a hard control list most of the time. So like,
but even then, I'm not controlling the board.
Yeah. You're just like you're controlling who wins the game. Yeah.
It's me. It's weird because like I do want to talk about this card just a little bit. Here is Fire Covenant.
Great art. The other one, that one over there.
I do think it's underplayed, but I don't think it's underplayed by top players. I think it's more of a crutch piece where like newer players should play it to give them some sort of semblance of like stabilizing their game plan.
Okay, I can see that.
And like that's not to say that like you're bad if you're playing Fire Covenant. I don't think that's true.
No, but if you want like a slower pace game with like less resource, I could see that.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to force that type of game, then it makes sense.
I feel like I build lists where I put in Fire Covenant and Toxic Deluge all the time, but the more that I play that list, if the list is viable, then like those are cards that come out.
Well, I think that's just like us as players that we feel so comfortable in high resource games, right? And like Fire Covenant is like opposite of that. Like we want everyone to be able to play the stack because we're going to beat everyone on the stack, right? Like that's how we know we're going to win is if there is a 45 card stack in the play. You know, like like we're like, oh yeah, I'm just like I've drugged you guys to the deep waters.
Oh, you're trapped in here with me.
Yeah, exactly.
What is my Fire Covenant going to do? Like at this point, like, I don't know. I don't care.
So I think like we incentivize and try to force those types of games.
Yeah. And
this card can blow out people from getting to that game, right?
Yeah. Do you think that this is our conversation and opinion is more of a play style thing, or do you think it's more of an experience thing, or like the level at which we play at? Not to say that we're like the best players in the game or whatever, but
no, I think it is. I mean, it could be regional as well, right? Like I do think that it's play style though, specifically for like us in Critical EDH. Like we love that type of game, and that's like kind of what we enjoy about cEDH a lot of the time, and I could see in other regions where they are actively not trying to have that game, I could see Fire Covenant being played a little bit more.
Yeah, if you're in like a heavy stacks region and you're up against like a Jet Mirror or some shit, like yeah, you're gonna be playing Fire Covenant.
Yeah,
you know what I
or
mean?
like you see Dranniths every game, like
or Winota,
100%. Yeah, of course. But like we don't see those decks, and like the deck that would be actively get blown out.
We do see those decks.
Yeah, that's true.
We do see them. Do we see them do well?
No.
The answer is no.
Yeah.
Like they exist, right? But our meta is not like filled with them. But then there's 3 of our quote type of decks at that pod with that one deck, and we all kind of just stare at them and go,
"Do you really want to be doing this?"
Yeah. Like, do you think the Drannith is gonna stop this player?
Yeah.
Like no.
Yeah, I think that. Like, maybe there is a meta that this does belong in your deck, but I don't think, like, it attacking Ragthrs, which is, I think, why these things are getting brought up, is, like, what you want to be doing.
Yeah. Interesting. Speaking of the best things to be doing, this thread says, in a number of play-to-win episodes, they refer the best thing to be doing in cEDH right now. And they're talking about Gaia's Cradle, the One Ring, untapping, that kind of stuff. What are other top tier things to be doing? And they're talking about like a tier list of these things. I don't know that there is a tier list necessarily, but they suggest Ristic Study things, Bowmasters, Atali flips, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. It's really interesting. I think it's like a playstyle question, right? Like I've kind of been dancing around a bunch of different types of decks and playstyles, and I've realized that like the Cradle stuff is something that really speaks to me for sure, and I think I play it really well. But do I think it's like the best thing to be doing? Maybe it is for me, but I think like the best thing to be doing is playing 100 good cards and getting good at the fundamentals in the format and learning your lines, learning how to play the stack. Don't punt, right? Like, I think that, like, in general, like, if, like, expand your horizons to find a deck that actually speaks to you. And, like, yeah, it might take a while. Like, it really does just take a while to find a deck that you are going to strive on. But
so for some people, that's Arkham Dagson or Master Thopterist, or...
Right, like...
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows what?
Rakdos the Muscle, man.
Magda,
we're seeing, like, this resurgence of Timna Dargo. And it's all on the back of Hebrew Hercules. There's just, like, the guy's just like...
Shout out to Kellen.
Yeah, dude, Kellen is just like, yeah, by the way, I've never not played this deck, and it's just gas, and now I'm just cooking people on it.
I'm so excited to play against him.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And so, like, is Timna Dargo the best thing to be doing in the format? Probably not. But is it for him?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think we go through these phases, and as players, we tend to forget the phase that we were just in, or that we were in 2 phases ago, because they kind of happen pretty gradually. Like, it depends on how you look at it. Like, if you're really involved in the scene, it feels like it's moving glacially slow. If you take a break and you come back and you're like, holy shit, everything's different. Like, right now we're seeing, like, these Thrasios decks and Cradle decks and all kinds of interesting things, which is like an offshoot because of where we were before, which is very Rhystic focused and taking advantage of people just casting spells. And then you're like, well, what if we don't cast spells anymore?
Yeah. Or what if we have so much mana we can just pay for every Rhystic study, right?
Or that too. And people are just, like, finding new and broken things. But there will be an answer to where we're at now, or there will be an evolution from where we're at now.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we're hearing these, like, rumblings of, like, this untapping One Ring deck that I still have not seen, but it seems super cool. And we're also seeing, like, the evolution of the lands decks, right? Like, Lumra got only gas and Edge of Eternities.
It got, like, what, 3 cards?
It
4
got
cards?
3 or 4 cards, and I think it got, like, 1 card specifically, the green creature that lets your...
The 4 mana one?
No.
Not Ice Till, it's the other one?
Not the Ice Till, the 3 mana one that allows your lands to come into play untapped.
Oh, another, like, yeah.
But it's a green creature.
Right.
Which is Green Suns, and they're on Summoner's Pack now.
Yeah.
And, like, that card is, like, everything Lumra wanted. But we're seeing, like, Lumra, we're seeing Minstrel do, like, the land stuff. And, like, that stuff is like, oh, hey, how about instead of not casting spells, how about we're just doing activated abilities? Like, they're kind of taking that same Thrasios thing.
Yeah.
And they're doing, like, this weird lands loop that's, like, very hard to interact with.
I will relate this to my own experience in Kodama Thras, because whenever I play that deck and I have any amount of success, I look down at my board, I'm like, I have 12 lands in play, and, like, you can wipe my board, but it literally doesn't matter, because I will just replay everything, and then I will keep doing the same thing, and just keep putting more lands into play. Like, I have 12 lands on turn 4, turn 5, or whatever. And that's not something that other decks do.
And I think that sometimes people are discounting with, like, those lands decks that, like, there's kind of an analysis paralysis on your opponents, because they're like, oh, I'm so used to seeing, like, this zone, which is the creatures and the enchantments, and I need to worry about your hand that's, like, this thing that I can't see.
Nebulous.
This is, like, this curtain that I can't look behind, right?
When I have, like, 20 cards in hand and Rogside, they're like, oh, he's the threat. Yeah.
But then, like, you see the lands decks, and you're like, there's 20 more cards I have to look at, and I know there's something there I'm missing.
Yeah.
And unless you're a lands player, you have no idea what those cards do.
Either that, or they're just holding up so much mana, they have 2 cards in hand, but they're representing, like, 10 Thrasios spins.
Yeah.
How do you assess that?
Yeah.
It's really hard to.
So I like, the answer is I don't know what the best thing to be doing is, right? The answer is probably play farm, right? But, like, I still don't like that argument.
But, like, what after that? Like, I don't know. Atali's been crushing our league.
Yeah.
They've been doing... There's, like, 3 Atalis that are doing extremely well right now.
They all get podded together now, too. Which
really
is so funny.
And then, like, I don't know how Orcish Bowmasters made this list, because that card just is in every black deck.
We're in a Bowmasters meta again. Like...
Sure, but, like, you're not doing anything with, like, it's just there.
It's just there for sure.
And then, like, I don't know,
Kinnan,
like, Kinnan's just a deck.
Yep.
I guess my answer to this is there's lots of really cool stuff you can do in cEDH right now. There's lots of cool, viable things, all kinds of different decks that are winning, all different kinds of archetypes that are winning. The meta is extremely diverse and very, very healthy, despite Farm's tournament dominance.
Correct.
And, like, on paper, Farm is the best. However, we see lots of, like, little individual examples. We see this huge surge of Thrasios decks doing really well, where, like, the stats don't really tell the whole story.
Yeah, absolutely. I also think that with, like, these Lands decks that I keep bringing up, like, the Lands decks have a really good matchup against Farm.
Yeah.
Farm does not have the answers
because they're not running Fire Cup.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think, like, the real answer is, like, find a deck that speaks to you and play that deck. And then if you want to, like, listen to, like, Jason's advice, which is correct advice, make mana and draw cards.
Yeah.
Like, that's really the best thing to be doing in the game.
That's what these Thrasios decks do. That's what, like, they make a ton of mana. They end up drawing cards. And, yeah, the win condition is different, but if you squint really hard, it kind of looks the same.
Yeah. Like, I think that's the end goal of every deck right now is make mana and draw cards.
It's almost like we play good fundamental Magic.
Yep. So I think, like, again, I think that's...
Yeah.
Work on your fundamentals, find a deck that you really enjoy, and master it.
And then also don't play cope cards. Like, don't play cards because they're cute. Play cards because they're good.
Yeah, correct.
And sometimes good cards are cute, but, you know.
Yeah.
This card is weird. We're going to talk about the Soul Stone, which is the first Infinity Stone that has been spoilered or leaked or announced or whatever. This one's the black one. It's 1 and a black. It's basically a 2-mana talisman. There's a lot of text on it. The text is as follows. It is a legendary artifact. It is indestructible. Taps, add a black. It comes in untapped, by the way. For 6 and a black, you can harness it, which means it's just active, basically.
Yeah, that's such a weird...
It's a flavor flavor thing.
Sure.
They're not, like, putting a counter on it and then, like, you know.
Yeah.
While it has a counter, then it does something. Like, it's just saying that it's harnessed.
Yeah.
Okay. And then while it's harnessed, at the beginning of your upkeep, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And initially, to me, I'm like, okay, it's a 2-mana talisman. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, low color black decks should take a look, right? Like, absolutely. I mean, it's indestructible, so makes sense.
Black to add a black, though, is kind of rough.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, like I said, like, again, this is, like, extremely niche, low color black decks. Like, maybe Ragthrs is looking at this stuff, right? Maybe.
I would say that, like, I don't know of talismans that are color to add color. I know that there's 2-mana talismans that add 1 color, but they enter tapped. Right, those are
so the diamonds, right? Yeah,
diamonds.
all of the charcoal I think, like, charcoal,
like,
diamond,
ruby,
and
or whatever.
Like, those are all getting
fire diamond, I think it is.
Yeah.
But those are from, like, D&D and.
No, I think those are old cards.
Okay, but they were reprinted.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah. So there's that cycle. Then there's also the 2-mana talismans that are, like, the pain talismans. Where, like, let's say Talisman of Creativity.
Dominance,
yeah,
resilience, all the other ones,
all those things. But we play those when we play Felwar Stone, we play Arcane Signet. But those are all colorless to add color.
Correct.
This one's doesn't really filter your mana because it just makes, like, you have
can't
to put
get
black
it out
in,
on Ancient Tomb. Like, you can't get this out with Ancient Tomb turn 1, which is, like, a huge benefit. Oh yeah, exactly.
Or Mana Crypt,
or Mana Crypt, or Soul Ring,
right.
or yeah, like, there's a lot of downside to this card, but
sure.
I think that some decks will look at this card.
They'll look at it. Mostly decks that probably play, like, Hoarding Broodlord.
Sure.
Okay. Or Razaketh, or what's the other black like 8-mana thing? It starts with a V. It's like
Valgavoth?
No, it's like the demon that Kalia plays?
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't know, but like any of those big reanimator targets, like maybe Hullbreaker Horror or I could see like taking a look at this card.
Yeah.
But one thing that I noticed is that it's indestructible. And we talked about a card earlier called Culling Writ, which happens to make a lot of green and or black mana.
Yeah.
And so if you rip a Culling Writ with this out, first of all, you're destroying a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But then if you make sufficient black mana, you can immediately tap this and harness it.
Correct.
And it's probably likely if you resolve a Culling Writ, if you don't win that turn, you're probably getting another upkeep.
Yeah, you should be.
Right, so...
You've destroyed everyone's mana, and yeah, 100%.
While Glarb is a really, really good Culling Writ deck, I don't know that I would play this card, but I would think about it.
For sure. The other thing is that if this is an indication of the other Infinity Stones, there's a good chance that one of them might be broken. Because like if there's 6 Infinity Stones, right, and like there's 5 colors in Magic, there's got to be one colorless one,
and there's got to be probably a Gauntlet too.
Yeah, I mean the Gauntlet is going to be some flavored garbage. It's like if you collect all 6 of them, you win the game. It's going to be some nonsense, dude. It's going to be some 8 mana Arkham Daxon Gauntlet, right?
Yeah.
But no, I think that like if you read into this of this being the black one, then there's inevitably going to be a green one and a red one, a white one, blue one.
Then maybe a colorless one.
Then I would think that there will be a colorless one. Maybe.
Yeah, I just like I don't even know what. Okay, so the black is a reanimate effect. The green might be a ramp effect. The blue might be like a draw card effect.
Yeah.
Or like your next spell can be countered or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But like inevitably one of these might be strong, in my opinion.
I think they're going to try to gate them around this power level.
Yeah, but they're bad at balancing stuff, dude.
What you're right. They're probably going to make one not powerful. They're going to make it accidentally broken with one other card and go like, "Oh shit, we didn't foresee this."
For sure.
Which is like it's inevitable, much like Thanos, because like they can't account for 40,000 cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they can't.
Right. And I think that a 2-mana rock that has an interesting ability might get printed soon.
Yeah.
Which I think is something I'm kind of excited about.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
But if they're going to do these one per Marvel set, and like we're just now getting Spider-Man, there's no word when the next one is.
I think there's a Marvel set already announced.
Okay.
Like an actual Marvel set, but
like, it's going to be a while.
Yeah, I think it's next year sometime.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
The card's interesting. Like
it's definitely interesting. It's going to see a lot of casual play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's going to be really expensive in the textless version, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. They're gorgeous. Like,
even the Thanos one is like pretty cool.
Dude, I even like the regular base frame. Like,
yeah. I think that's all we have for this week.
Yeah, I think so.
We covered a lot of shit.
We did.
A lot of cards.
Yeah. I'm going to test out Days.
I brought this because I tweeted about this. I didn't have the tweet up here, but I don't know if you guys can see. I prepared for the MV. I kind of like re-sleeved my deck. I used absolutely...
God, these are atrocious.
Just atrociously bad inner sleeves. They are fracture foil. Yep. So like they all look like K-pop pictures. Even like my near mint City of Traders has like fracture foil over it. So we'll see if these inner sleeves like hold up, but they're in Dragon Shield outers, so I think it'll be okay.
They'll be fine. You're just trolling.
I'm literally just trolling.
You're actually trolling.
Yeah. Like what fucking idiot built this deck anyway? Anyway.
Good quote.
I think that's about all for us for this week. Hopefully you enjoyed our episode, and I'm sure that we left out some stuff, but we'll have more to talk about next week.
Yeah.
I think next week I was going to try to chat with either you or Jason, or maybe both of you, and we can do a little bit of like NV prep, kind of dive a little bit more into what we'll see, who we'll see, because I think that like focusing on the players is something we like to do a lot on the channel, and talk about some of the players that we're going to see there. And,
maybe some random tech pieces here and there. Maybe.
Yep.
I've been looking at people's lists just like randomly, like, and I've been seeing a lot of just like you can tell they're teching.
Really?
Like I've been seeing like random rest in pieces, and I'm just like, that's not usually a card in your deck.
Holy.
Yeah, I've been like random stuff in people's like. Specifically, I've been like looking at some TNT stuff.
Yeah.
And just like,
TNT players are good copers.
Yeah, that's true.
They're known copers.
True.
All right.
Known bad deck.
Anything else?
No, don't think so.
Cool. Thanks very much.
Yep.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.